Related sample t-test. Now, in related sample t-tests are of two types. One is called paired sample t-test and paired sample t-test, and it is also known as, second case is repeated sample t-test. Okay, now I'm giving you some of the examples to explain that what is the difference between paired sample t-test and what is the repeated sample t-test. Okay, so example number one. Listen carefully. After 3 or 4 examples, it will be clear. Suppose you are in your college. There is one section of MBA, and there are 5 teachers who are teaching them in different subjects. So some faculty is teaching marketing, other faculty is teaching the finance, and there is third faculty who is teaching the HR. So 5 teachers are teaching for MBA in first year. Now at the end of the session, so you are interested to compare that which teacher is having the highest feedback and which teacher is having the lowest feedback. So who will have high feedback and who is getting the low feedback. So in this case, what happens? You go to the class. This is the class, and you take the feedback of 5 faculty. This is faculty 1, faculty 2, faculty 3, faculty 4, and faculty 5. Right. So this is an example of repeated sample t-test. Right. So this is an example of repeated sample t-test. Why? Because the sample is same. Sample is same. You are taking 5 different responses. Right. The feedback of faculty 1 is one response. The feedback of faculty 2 is second response. Feedback of faculty 3 is third response. So, right. So because we assume that in class student will be same, and same student is giving the 5 feedback. Right. So we are repeating the responses from the same sample. Right. So we call it same sample, but repeated response. Right. So I hope you have clarity in this. So when the sample is same and you are taking the repeated responses, this is known as repeated sample t-test. Okay, now I'm giving you an example number 2. So after these examples, the clarity will increase. Okay, now another example. So I take some of the employees. These are employees, and you take the test, right? So you take the skill test, that what is the level of skills in these employees, and after that you provide training to them. After providing the training, you take the another test. So you are taking the test to the employees again. So you are taking the skill test, right? So this sample is known as pre-sample, and this sample is known as post-sample, right? Pre-sample means before training, and this is called after training. So in this case, you are having 2 data set. One is the pre-training and second is post-training. So this is the example of paired sample t-test, when you are taking the response before the event and after the event. Before the event and after the event. Right. So these are the basic difference between the 2 different samples. In repeated sample case, the sample remains same. We are taking the repeated responses. In paired sample, we are taking the response before the event and after the event. Right. So let me explain, giving you some more example, and you will tell me this example is paired sample or this example is of repeated sample. So in example number 1, so you take the set of women, they joined self-help group, right? And you want to know that what is their average income before joining the self-help group, and what is their average income after joining the self-help group. So you are having 2 data set. One is this data set, and this is second data set. So you will calculate average of first data set you will calculate the average of second data set, and you want to check whether x1 is equal to x2. Now use your common sense and tell me, this is the case of paired sample t-test or related sample t-test? So most of you are right. It is simply the paired sample t-test. And okay, great. Most of you are, almost everybody is giving me the right answer. Now second case. Okay, so one director in a company decided that let's invite 3 guest faculties to decide that whom should be given chance to teach the subject, to teach the students. So this is a class. So there are 3 demo of faculty 1, demo of faculty 2, and demo of faculty 3. So first teacher come teach the class, second teacher come teach the class, third teacher come teach the class, and the director take the feedback of faculty 1, take the feedback of faculty 2, and take the feedback of faculty 3, faculty 1, faculty 2, faculty 3, and then director find out, okay, let's take only 2 faculties, otherwise we will go for the ANOVA test. Right now you can see same class, 2 faculties, and we have to decide that which faculty should teach finally. So this is an example of which paired or repeated sample. So I think now you have clarity that which is applicable where. And similarly, the third example, this is example of marketing. The marketing executive of a company collect the data of 100 shops. This data is about the daily sales of the company, daily sale of the shops, and calculate the average of the daily sales. Then the company launched one advertisement campaign. So company launched one advertisement campaign, and after launching the advertisement campaign, the marketing executive go back to all the same shops. The shops are exactly same, and find out that now tell me your average daily sales. So then he calculate the daily sales of the same shops, and he want to check whether the mean of the same shops are same or not, right? So use your common sense to decide that which is the case. Okay, I hope now you understand what is the difference between paired sample t-test and what is the difference between related sample t-test. So this concept is important from understanding point of view. Otherwise, in SPSS we can apply the same method. We can apply the same method. We have to apply the same method for repeated and as well as paired. So now I'm showing you how to do it in SPSS. Let me show you the SPSS file. Let me open the data first. So, okay. Now I have 2 examples here. One is the feedback 1 and one is the feedback 2. And this is the feedback of, let's say, feedback of 1 and feedback of 2, and the example is same and the sample is same. So this is the example of repeated sample. And now it is the pre-training score and post-training score. So whenever we say pre and post, it means it is a paired sample t-test. So one is paired sample t-test, and this is the repeated sample t-test, and we want to check whether there is a difference or not. So let's go to the analyze, compare means, and we are having a paired sample t-test. And if I want to apply the repeated sample t-test, the method is exactly same. You will take the pair of 1 and second response, and in paired sample t-test we can take the pair of 1 and 2. Now we are having 2 pairs. First pair is of repeated sample t-test, and the second pair of the pre-test and post-test. Now let's click OK. So this is the response, and now how to read the response, let's see. So we are running the 2 tests here. One is case of the repeated sample, repeated, and second is called paired, repeated and paired. In case of repeated, the null hypothesis is that the average feedback of one group is equal to average feedback of the second. In case of paired, the null hypothesis is that the average of pre is equal to the average of post. Now how to check it? So first we have to check the t-test. So here this is the t-test and this is the probability value. So t-test is equal to minus 6.318 and probability value is 0.000. Similarly here t-test is minus 9.945 and the probability value is 0.000. So null hypothesis also rejected here and null hypothesis also rejected here. Now what is the conclusion? Conclusion is that the feedback of feedback 1 is greater than feedback 2. So feedback 1 is greater than feedback 2. So this is the conclusion, or we can write the feedback of 1 significantly higher than feedback 2. In this case, we can say the post average is significantly greater than pre-average. It means training is highly useful. Training is highly useful. So just think on it, and I hope the concept is clear to you. What is the difference between repeated sample t-test and what is the difference between paired sample t-test? Okay, I will take one more example, and so that you will have clarity. So let me explain this example once again, and you are requesting for repeat. So in this case, so let's see one thing once more. This is the first case. In the first case, my null hypothesis is that the average feedback of first is equal to average feedback of second. Right? The feedback 1 is equal to 4166 and the feedback 2 is 3456. Now the feedback 1 seems to be higher than the average of feedback 2. Now what is the t value? T value here is 6.318. 6.318. The probability value is 0.000. You can see that this value is greater than 1.96. Greater than 1.96. Right. So null hypothesis is rejected. Null hypothesis rejected, and I can make the conclusion. I can make the conclusion that the feedback 1 is significantly higher than the feedback 2. They are not equal. They are the feedback 1 is significantly greater than the feedback 2. Now similarly, I am going to explaining the case number 2. So let's move to the case number 2. Here, my null hypothesis is that the pre-average is equal to post average, and the pre is equal to 51 and the post average is found to be 68. It is higher than pre, and t statistic I found is minus 9.945. You can see this, and probability value is 0.000. So null hypothesis is rejected. Null hypothesis rejected means they are not equal. If they are not equal, somebody is higher, somebody is lower. So post training, post average is greater than pre-average. It means the training is successful. The training is successful. This is the conclusion we can make on the basis of the results. Similarly, I am going to show you one more example. After this, I hope everything will be clear. So let's close it and move into another example. I'm going to open a new file for, okay, let's see this. Okay, I think this is, we already done pre-training and post-training. And let me open this file, life quality after SHG. So in this case, we are having the data of life quality after the after joining the self-help group and life quality before joining the self-help group. So we are having two data set, and this is the score of the life quality before training and after training. So we know that it is a case of pre and post. So it is perfectly the example of paired sample t-test. And let's move to the test. So we are going to apply paired sample t-test and make the pair. In paired sample t-test, you have to make the pair. Click on this part. So you can see the first pair in this case, and just click on OK. Now we can discuss the results very easily. And in this case, my null hypothesis is that life quality pre is equal to life quality post. So what is the average life quality in case of pre? It is 43.5, and life quality in case of post is 60, and T statistic is found to be minus 9.615, which is greater than 1.96. So null hypothesis rejected, and we can conclude that because this is higher than this, so life quality after joining the self-help group is significantly better than life quality before the training quality, before joining the self-help group. So this is my conclusion from the results. So